During the offseason of the 2011-2012 season, the Lakers failed to compete for 3 consecutive championships, with Jackson retiring and the team's lineup aging, resulting in a significant decline in strength. General Manager Kupchak actively sought a trade and reached an agreement with the Hornets to trade Paul Gasol for the league's first point guard, Paul.Shocking the world. However, League President David Stern vetoed the deal for basketball reasons, rendering the alliance of the league's first point guard and quarterback a failure. The whole world feels sorry for the Lakers. Jiang Feng traveled to a parallel world and became the selected second-round point guard for the Lakers. He gained the skill of Blackie disappearing and passing in the comic book, Blackie Basketball, and his performance exploded. Fans all over the world are confused. With this point guard, would you still trade Paul? I thought it was a regret for both sides that I couldn't go to the Lakers. I didn't expect the Lakers didn't need me at all. So the joker is me. Kobe. I thought Jiang Feng was assisting me, but I didn't expect he came to usurp the throne. Jiang Feng said, "Stop pretending. I have a showdown. I am a better point guard than Paul." Other team owners said, "I tried my best to stop Paul from going to the Lakers, but they didn't expect the Lakers to cultivate a point guard god themselves." I'm really crying. Chapter 1. Goodbye Kobe. Activate the Sunspot basketball system. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Mistakes, mistakes, mistakes again. The Lakers have made too many mistakes. They really lack an excellent point guard now. Unfortunately, Chris Paul's trade was rejected, otherwise what would have happened to the Lakers? The helpless voice of the live commentary spread throughout every corner of the stadium, causing all Lakers fans to sigh in waves. The opening game of the NBA 2011-2012 season is currently underway, with the Bulls versus the Lakers. The third quarter of the competition is coming to an end. 85.71, the Lakers are already 14 points behind. The consecutive mistakes have dealt a heavy blow to the team's morale, and the players appear to have no fighting spirit. Sitting on the bench, Jiang Feng looked bewildered, listening to words such as Lakers and Paul. After a long period of confusion, he finally realized that he had crossed the line. He only remembers that in his previous life, after encountering a major layoff at the end of the year, he went home in frustration and played NBA games all night. In the end, he fell asleep in a daze and woke up here. Suddenly, his head was in severe pain, and the information of the original host exploded in his mind. The original host, also known as Jiang Feng, was selected by the Lakers in the second round, 28th overall, in the 2011 NBA draft. He is 2.01 meters tall and weighs 100 kilograms. He plays as a point guard and is considered a tall point guard. The draft template is for Chinese player Sun Yu. So, Jiang Feng's career in the NBA is not highly regarded. After all, Sun Yu has been in the NBA for 2 years and has hardly any playing opportunities. Even though he has the top talent among Chinese players, there is still a certain gap in physical fitness, explosive power, speed, and other aspects compared to NBA-level players. However, Haruyuku's belief in playing NBA has not been shaken, because this is a dream. After receiving this information, Jiang Feng also felt emotional. The word dream is already unattainable for him, an old social animal. In his previous life, he struggled for his ideals when he was young, but for the sake of life, he took off his beloved jersey and put on a bound suit, eventually living a life he disliked. Now, as I travel through this young body, my dead heart begins to stir. Perhaps we can really pursue the basketball dream now. Even if it fails, relying on the innate advantage of the time traveler, one can easily become the richest person by speculating in stocks and buying and selling Bitcoin. Just as I was thinking about it, suddenly a tall figure walked towards the river breeze. "Hey rookie, dodge, this is where I'm going to sit." A fierce and domineering voice sounded. Jiang Feng looked up, first stunned for a moment, then his heart beat fiercely, and then tears burst down his face. It's him. It's him. It's really him. Countless beliefs of the 80s and 90s, conquerors of Los Angeles at 4 a.m., salt bearers of the 81 spirit, his name is like thunder, his story is well-known, and his fans claim to have 6 billion. He's Kobe Bryant. As someone who has traveled since 2024, even though it has been 4 years, I still cannot let go of Kobe's departure. For a long time, he stood up and gently patted Kobe, his voice seeming to travel through eternity. It's really you, Kobe. Shouldn't I just let you leave this seat? As for crying like this. Young players nowadays are too fragile in their hearts. Kobe shook his head and sat down in a chair, not to mention disappointment, because he had never hoped for Jiang Feng. His face was gloomy, his eyes filled with dissatisfaction, and he was extremely dissatisfied with the team's performance in this game. Jiang Feng sat aside and woke up from the joy just now. Thinking of the words he had just explained, his heart was filled with anger. Even if I think of the Hornets and Lakers trade for Chris Paul now, it's still hard to reconcile. Jiang Feng clearly remembers that when the news of this transaction was exposed, it shocked the whole world. What an incredible combination of the league's first shooting guard and first point guard. However, this deal was vetoed by league president David Stern for basketball reasons. And this also changed the careers of Kobe and Paul, the two superstars. Paul has been unable to make it to the Western Conference for many consecutive years, and may even have a lifetime without a championship. Kobe, on the other hand, spent a lot of time leading his team to the playoffs next season, eventually breaking his Achilles tendon and struggling with injuries for 2 years before retiring. Many years from now, this transaction will still be the biggest regret and assumption for fans. No one knows what the Lakers will achieve after trading Paul, but there is no doubt they will maintain their championship strength for the next 3 to 5 years. After this deal was rejected, the Lakers suffered from a lack of excellent point guards throughout the season. In the middle of the season, they also traded for Sessions as a point guard, but to no avail, unable to connect the two towering towers of Gasol and Bynum, causing the two to fight on their own. Finally, he was easily eliminated by the Thunder team in the playoffs, even if he was traded to Howard later in the season, forming the Big Four. But fate did not favor the Lakers, and various problems occurred frequently, ultimately leading to decline. Jiang Feng glanced at Lau Ku. The last few years of this man's career were not without tragedy. He really wants to change this situation, but his ability is limited. As a second-round draft, he may not have many opportunities to play this season. Just as he was feeling depressed, a cold voice suddenly rang out in his mind. Ding dong. Feeling the host's helplessness, now activate the Black Basket God level system. This system is generated based on the anime Black Basket, and as long as the host completes the task, they can receive corresponding rewards. Ding dong. Successfully bound, obtain a beginner's gift pack. Do you want to claim it? Jiang Feng was momentarily stunned, then ecstatic. Here we go. The standard configuration for the traveler. With the system, you can walk horizontally in the NBA and pursue your dreams without any restraint. And this system is also explosive. He has watched the anime Black Boys Basketball, and all kinds of fantasy skills, such as thundering dribbling, Eye of the Heavenly Emperor, disappearing passing, etc., are all beings that transcend reality. The only skills in the entire basketball industry that can compete with it are the more abnormal skills such as Lon Dai swinging in the cloud and Kong Long Bugui whirlwind slam dunk in Basketball Fire. When these skills were used, Jordan felt inferior, Kobe shed tears, and James withdrew from the basketball circle, except. Without any hesitation, Jiang Feng spoke in unison. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for successfully receiving the Qingfeng Dahui full-level physical talent, Haizijia disappearing passing, Yeshan Kotaro thundering dribbling, and Jinchuan Jiji's strongest wall. The cold sound of the system rang out. Jiang Feng stood still in place. What are the 3 skills at the beginning of the game? Is there another miracle generation, Jiang Feng Dahui's physical talent? It's so shocking. Chapter 2. Fusion Skills. Kobe, let me take you flying. You are listening at novel full.audio. At the moment of shock, a light curtain suddenly appeared in Jiang Feng's mind. System. Black Basket God Level System, Host. Jiang Feng, Age. 20, Height. 2.01 meters, Weight. 100 kilograms, Arm Span. 2.13 meters, Jersey Number. 28, Physical Talent. Strength. 55, Stamina. 62, Speed. 60, Bounce. 70, Agility, Reflexes, Neural Reflexes. 58, Technical Ability. Control. 62, Passing. 65, Mid-range Shooting. 43, Three-pointer shooting. 35, Free throws. 58, Rebounds. 59, Steals. 43, Block. 42, Defense. 58, Skill Talent. None, Experience Value. 0, Skill Fragment. 0, Note. 1. The numerical values of physical talent and technical ability are not fixed and will change accordingly with the player's age, training level, and other aspects. Jiang Feng. Are the values of physical talent and technical ability so low? This is simply a blatant mockery of oneself. What is the numerical standard for the system's ability to play NBA? Jiang Feng couldn't help but ask. Each item of physical talent has a value of 70 or above, and each item of technical ability has a value of 60 or above. The system responded. What level are these values for superstars like NBA? Jiang Feng asked curiously. Superstars like Jordan, Kobe, and James all have physical talents above 85, but each person's highest value is different. Jordan's bounce value is as high as 92, but Kobe is only 89, like O'Neal, who is far ahead in strength, reaching 95. This is the highest value in this NBA category. James is relatively average, but each value is very high. The same goes for technical ability. Jordan and Kobe's mid-range shooting is as high as 95, while James only has 85. For example, O'Neal's mid-range shooting ability is only 75. The system explained. Jiang Feng nodded frequently as he listened, gaining a general understanding of multiple numerical values related to physical talent and technical abilities. Integrate all skills from the beginner's gift pack. Jiang Feng said, couldn't help but look forward to it. I don't know how much these skills will increase his numerical value. As the words fell, an introduction to his skills came to mind. Jiang Feng Dahui full-level physical talent. SSS level talent, a member of the Miracle Generation, one of the strongest scorers in anime, playing as a power forward, with excellent physical talent, not limited to conventional football style, with free ultra-high speed dribbling and indefinite shooting. After fusion, he obtains all his static and dynamic talents, non-technical abilities, with a focus on enhancing speed and agility. Heizija also disappears passing. S.level skill, the 6th person in the Miracle Generation, with extremely high passing ability. After integrating the skills, they gain their passing vision and ability, and master the technique of single-point dribbling, while also possessing the ability of line-of-sight guidance, with a passing accuracy rate of up to 80%. Note. After skill upgrade, you can obtain accelerated pass and accelerated pass spin skills. Yishan Kotaro Thundering Dribbling. B.level skill, one of the 5 uncrowned generals, with super strong dribbling skills. After fusion, he gains his dribbling ability and reduces the probability of being intercepted by 20%. Note. This skill can only be used with 3 fingers for power, and can be upgraded with 4 or 5 fingers. The strongest wall of Tsugawa Tomoki. A.level skill, the ace defense of Jinbang High School, with strong defense. After fusion, its defense ability is obtained, with a focus on strengthening single defense ability. It can reduce the attacker's hit rate by 10% to 20%, and has a 20% chance of angering the opponent and inducing fouls. At the same time, there is a 10% chance of steals. Note: the skill levels are C, B, A, S, SS, and SSS, and can be upgraded by accumulating skill fragments. Regular skills have the highest S. level, while skills related to Miracle Generation have the highest SSS level. As his skills merged, he saw the numbers on the system interface also jumping rapidly. Physical talent. Strength. 55, 85, stamina. 62, 88, speed. 60, 95, bounce. 70, 86, agility, reflexes, neural reflexes. 58, 90, technical ability. Operation and control. 62, 86, passing. 65, 90, mid-range shooting. 43, three-pointers shooting. 35, free throws. 58, rebounds. 59, steals. 43, 53, block. 42, defense. 58, 80, seeing the changes in these values, Jiang Feng grinned. As expected. After integrating the physical talents of Qin Feng Dahui, various numerical values have risen sharply, reaching the level of a historical superstar, and the speed of strengthening has soared to 95. What concept is this? You should know that O'Neal's strength is unique in NBA history, and his value is also 95. So, Jiang Feng's speed is also unique in the NBA, and most importantly, he has a height of 2.01 meters. It's not like Iverson being fast because of his short stature. This is even more terrifying. Qin Feng Dahui is truly the fastest man in the anime, Black Boys Basketball. The remaining 3 skills have also added numerical values to the classification of technical abilities. What made Jiang Feng laugh was the thunderous dribbling, which required 3 fingers of force, which couldn't help but make him daydream. If it is used in that aspect, I don't know if those beautiful women can withstand it. The defensive ability value has also increased to 80, although it has not reached the level of a superstar, it is already at the upper level of the league, approaching the strength of the best 3 defenses. Do. A whistle sounded, pulling the river wind back to reality. The 4th competition has already begun. The Lakers are already 18 points behind. Kobe, sitting next to Jiang Feng, was already shivering with anger. His eyes glanced several times at head coach Mike Brown, wanting to make an appearance in the game. Upon seeing this, Jiang Feng patted Kobe's shoulder and grinned, saying, "Kobe, calm down a bit. Being 18 points behind is considered bullshit. I'll take you flying later." Kobe. Are you joking with me? In life, I can, but on the field, I don't like to joke. Kobe had a cold expression and a cold tone, his eyes staring at Jiang Feng were incredibly sharp, like the gaze of an ancient demon god. If it were any other rookie player, it would probably scare Kobe to tears. Do you think I'm joking? I'm serious. Chris Paul didn't come either. Our team doesn't need him either, I'm enough. Jiang Feng spoke word by word, indeed very seriously. When it comes to Paul, it hits Kobe's heartache. He is completely angry. Enough. Rookie. Having confidence is a good thing, but this is not where you brag. As a second-round show, you can play first before we talk. Kobe said fiercely. If it weren't for his teammates on the same team, he would be too lazy to communicate with such a rookie who doesn't know the boundaries of heaven and earth, it would be a waste of time. At this moment, Coach Mike Brown suddenly shouted, "Jiang, get ready, we need you on stage. Kobe. Did you make a mistake on the stage in Chapter 3? Are you here to be funny? You are listening at novel full.audio. Not only Kobe was confused. Jiang Feng also had a bewildered expression on his face. Happiness comes a bit suddenly. Does the coach know that he has obtained the system and his strength has greatly upgraded? Otherwise, only if the head is kicked by a donkey will a second-round rookie who has not played a formal NBA game appear in the scoring stage. Or maybe the coach is going to give up the game. Only the final reason is most likely. Kobe also thinks the same way. The two of them turned their heads to look at the field and found that the two main players, Gasol and Artest, were still on the field. This indicates that the coach did not give up the game, but really wanted Jiang Feng to play. Kobe was furious, but he glanced at Andrew Goodlock on the field and suddenly felt relieved. Because Andrew Goodlock, like Jiang Feng, was also in the second round of the 2011 draft, but he has been playing for almost 20 minutes in this game and his performance is like garbage. But what's the solution? The team is suffering from injuries and the off-season lineup structure has undergone significant changes. There are really no players left to play. And just now, starting point guard Felshi was expelled due to being accused of 2 technical fouls. Steve Blake was injured and absent. The only point guard that the Lakers can use is this second-round draft. Kid, it's best for you to make fewer mistakes when you come on stage, otherwise I'll kick your butt out. Kobe coldly dropped a sentence and stood up, walking towards the technical desk. Jiang Feng closely followed behind, feeling a bit nervous in his heart. Although I have become stronger, this is my first time standing on the NBA level field, and I may feel uncontrollable and anxious. Hey kid, play like you usually train and try to minimize mistakes. Mike Brown said somewhat helplessly, clearly having no hope for Jiang Feng either. If it weren't for a severe lack of players, how could he let a second-round draft with no game experience come on? Oh my God. This is my first game coaching the Lakers. It's a hell of a start. He no longer has high expectations for this game, he just hopes that the loss won't be too outrageous. After Jiang Feng appeared, he did not attract any attention. The vast majority of fans on site didn't even know that the Lakers had such a player. As a second-round show, his presence is extremely low. After all, in the entire history of the NBA, there are very few players who can play from the second round and make fans familiar with them. Most of the second-round draft picks were eliminated after struggling to survive in the NBA for a while, and eventually quietly left the league. For Jiang Feng, the same applies. However, he is a Chinese and one of the few Chinese athletes who can make it to the NBA, so he has still attracted some attention in China. Huaxia Live Room. Jiang Feng has made his debut. I didn't expect to have the opportunity to play in the first game of the new season. I believe the fans are already very excited now. Commentator Yu Jiaoyu said excitedly. I know fans are very excited, but I think everyone should be more rational and not have too high expectations for Jiang Feng. No second-round draft can perform well in the first game. Jiang Feng's appearance is also due to the fact that the Lakers team is currently unavailable. So we can't put our initial expectations for Dayo on Jiang Feng. After all, Dayo is the top scorer, and Jiang Feng is just a second-round draft. Su Kun analyzed very calmly. It's like this. Jiang Feng has a chance to play, which is beyond our expectations. If we still expect him to have a brilliant performance, then we'll probably only be disappointed. Yu Jia also said. After Dayo announced his retirement in July this year, there was only one player left in the NBA, and the league was just a water dispenser player. So fans are eager to see Chinese players shine in the NBA. This expectation is very urgent. Staples Center Arena. Lakers offensive turn. Jiang Feng had just touched the basketball on the field when the sound of the system echoed in his mind again. Ding dong, we are now releasing the main task of this game, leading the team to win this game. Reward for completion. 500 experience points, 50 skill fragments. Ding dong, we are now releasing the side quests for this game, and we will receive 10 assists before the end of the game. Rewards for completion. 200 experience points, 20 skill fragments. Note: accumulating experience points can lead to lucky draws, and skill fragments can upgrade skills. Jiang Feng grinned, feeling a bit tricky. The difficulty of the task is not high, it's just that there isn't enough time. There are still 10 minutes left until the entire game, and I do not have the ability to attack, so I can only rely on my teammates. He looked at his team-mates with different expressions and thought that he must give awesome some. After all, whether this task can be completed or not really has nothing to do with oneself. Jiang Feng, as the point guard, holds the ball at the top of the arc, while the defender is the Bulls' substitute point guard Watson. Kobe ran to the top of the arc and opened his hands to demand the ball. As a result, Jiang Feng ignored it directly and instead used line-of-sight guidance to glance at Kobe, and then used the Black Sh also disappears pass skill to swing the basketball towards Andrew Goodlock, who was standing in the empty corner. With a whoosh, the basketball flew directly out of bounds. Andrew Goodlock looked bewildered, completely unaware that the basketball would fly towards him. By the time he realized it, it was already too late. Jiang Feng patted his forehead. Forgetting the power of Blackpool's disappearing pass, it is impossible for a second-round draft like Andrew Goodlock to catch this pass. I'm careless. What's going on? This second-round show ignored Kobe's demand for the ball. He's so brave. Just fight like this, he'll have to be substituted in 2 rounds. The commentator spoke loudly, with a hint of surprise in his tone. Mike Brown on the sidelines shook his head, glanced at the substitute, and began to think about how to replace him. On the court, accompanied by Kobe's angry gaze, Jiang Feng turned back to defend and silently explained to Kobe, mistakes, really mistakes. Hey, yellow person, are you here to be funny? You just made a mistake when you came up. Are you an undercover agent sent by our team to the Lakers? Watson mercilessly mocked. Shut your mouth. I will lead the team to win this game. Jiang Feng confidently said. You. Leading the team. Winning the game. Do you think you're Kobe? Leading the team. Kid, can't you even see the game situation clearly? Playing for at most 2 minutes will enter garbage time. I'm going to rest soon, you won't even have a chance to face me. Watson said, feeling a bit proud. Even the strength and status of substitute players in this league are higher than those of low-ranking rookies and water dispenser players. Hee, you will indeed come off the field, just be kicked off by me. In 2 rounds, I will take you off. Only Derrick Ross is qualified to play against me on your team. Jiang Feng counterattacked. Watson? Question mark face. PNG, what? Chapter 4. Let the basketball fly for a while. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Bulls are attacking. Watson held the ball to organize the attack, and Jiang Feng leaned in. Using the Tsukuwa cheeky iron wall defense skill, it was like opening a net, tightly covering Watson. Watson is only 1.85 meters tall, just like a child in front of Jiang Feng. However, Watson was not afraid and instead signaled to his teammates to pull back and pursue this second round of singles. Due to the height difference, he believes that his speed is faster and more agile than Jiang Feng, and he can easily get rid of his defense. Kid, let me show you the gap between us. Watson said, very excited. I am often abused in my daily life, but today I have a rare opportunity to abuse others. How about seizing this opportunity? He kept changing his hips and taking a cross step, then suddenly resetting his footwork and breaking through from the right side, only to find himself still being covered by Jiang Feng in the penalty area. Not to mention getting rid of defense, I haven't even distanced myself from one position. He didn't expect Jiang Feng, who was so tall, to move so flexibly. Watson once again showed a question mark on his face, stubbornly stopping and making a fake shot. Unexpectedly, Jiang Feng completely refused to shake. He is unwilling to accept it. At this point, I still didn't choose to pass the ball, but turned around and forced a jump shot, and the movements were somewhat distorted. Because Watson is not good at this type of attack. This shooting choice is very bad. Jiang Feng jumped up high, reached out his hands, and slapped the basketball flying out. Is there any reason not to accept the seal that was delivered to your door? Even though his block value is only 42, this defensive block is completely a dimensionality reduction blow, just like a high school student hitting a high school student. Easy to handle. Falling to the ground, Jiang Feng snatched the basketball, dribbled quickly and launched a defensive counterattack. Arteist and Kobe were also the first to rush towards the front court. Suddenly, the basketball in Jiang Feng's hand disappeared. The entire audience looked bewildered. Where's the ball? Mike Brown stood up on the sidelines and couldn't help but spit out his fragrance. Fuck. I shouldn't have let you play, this is going to be a mistake again. Where is the basketball going? It's going to fly again. Good ball. He hadn't finished speaking yet, but suddenly shut up, his eyes staring like copper bells. I saw the basketball pass between the two bulls, hit the floor, and suddenly bounced up, flying towards an empty place. And the Lakers players have not yet returned to the front court, obviously this is a mistake. The entire audience covered their eyes and couldn't bear to watch anymore. This chicken point guard made 2 consecutive mistakes and directly brought the game to garbage time. Only Jiang Feng stood still after passing the ball, grinned and gestured for a yes hand shape, and said calmly, "Let the basketball fly for a while." At this moment, under normal circumstances, Kobe's fast break ran over, and the basketball flew into his hands with precision, like eyes growing. Early pass. Sharp angle. Kobe looked at the basketball in his hand and didn't react for a moment, while there was no one in front of him. Don't hesitate, don't slow down. Kobe took 3 layups and scored the ball. The score difference has increased to 16 points. Mike Brown stood still, his mind exploding like thunder. This pass is amazing. The whole room was also filled with cheers and screams of surprise. On the basketball court, it's not just scoring that excites people. A good pass, a sharp block, and a desperate front-court rebound all have the same effect. A good pass may be more exciting because it requires imagination and creativity, which cannot be compared to scoring and rebounding. So in basketball, the point guard is the foundation. The passes sent by great point guards are even more pleasing to the eye and leave a lasting impression. What happened just now? Why didn't I see how the basketball came out? What a beautiful pass. It reminds me of Magician Johnson. The Lakers played so brilliantly during the Showtime era. Hey, that kid is just a second-round draft, how could he compare to Johnson? The pass just now was just a coincidence. Yeah. By the way, when will the Lakers still have an East Asian player? I don't even know, nor do I know where he comes from, China, the island country, or other regions. Can't they be Chinese people? Besides Yao, there are also Chinese people who can play in the NBA. Fans are discussing and paying attention to the boy with black hair and yellow skin wearing the number 28 jersey. On the court. Boss, how is my ball? Jiang Feng excitedly asked, somewhat showing off. It's just average. If I hadn't predicted in advance, you would have made another mistake. I would have kicked your butt out. Kobe said expressionlessly. My mouth said this, but my heart was roast. I almost didn't receive the pass. That's it. If you don't practice, there aren't many people who can catch my pass. Boss, you're really amazing. Jiang Feng said sincerely. Kobe. He was stunned for a moment, unable to distinguish whether he was flattering him or pretending to be coercing himself. The Bulls are attacking. Watson controlled the ball and continued to signal the opponent to pull away, persistently wanting to play singles against Jiang Feng. He believes that it must have been his own problem that he couldn't get rid of Jiang Feng's defense just now. After all, the difference between the two is nearly 20 centimeters, and there is a huge gap in movement speed and flexibility. How could he not get rid of it? So he decided to try again. Change direction under the crotch, pull back, reset footsteps, and attach forward to change direction. Watson observed the footsteps of the river breeze changing, and couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth slightly. This time, we will definitely completely get rid of this second round show. However, just as he was about to break through, he heard a snap and immediately felt his hands empty. His mother. Where's the ball? Watson turned around and found that Jiang Feng had already dribbled towards the front court. Without hesitation, he turned around and ran frantically towards the front field. In his opinion, he can easily catch up with Jiang Feng, even if his height cannot interfere with him, but at least he can commit a foul. But to his surprise, he found himself getting farther and farther away from Jiang Feng. Can't catch up. Surprisingly unable to catch up. Watson is completely confused. How could this be? I'm already running with all my strength. This is so outrageous. His mother opened the door. It's outrageous. Helpless. He could only watch helplessly as Jiang Feng dribbled past half-court and effortlessly completed a layup. The difference returned to 14 points. Bulls head coach Thibodeau couldn't bear it and immediately called a timeout. Both players walked towards their respective bench. Hey buddy, what are you doing? After being stolen, why don't you go after and defend that number 28? Thibodeau said angrily. Watson. What? He wants to cry without tears. I really caught up, just didn't catch up. You got blown up by a second-round show. Sit down obediently off the court. Thibodeau said, giving Watson no face at all because he was just a substitute and didn't have much face in the first place. Hey buddy. What did I say? I can beat you in 2 rounds. The sound of the river breeze suddenly sounded. All members of the Bulls team. Chapter 5. Eavesdropping on our tactics. Stop Ross. You are listening at novel full.audio. When everyone turned around, they realized there were undercover agents in the team, and Jiang Feng stood behind them at some point. This has caused dissatisfaction among all the Bulls players. Hey, rookie in the second round, this is not where you should be, go back to your team. Noah has a bad temper and shouted loudly. Kid, do you want to eavesdrop on my tactics? It's really despicable. Thibodeau said with a heavy face, we need to find the referee to argue. In this situation, we shouldn't boast about a technical foul. However, the referee did not call a technical foul, but only warned Jiang Feng to return to his own team. Jiang Feng made a face at the crowd, then glanced at the man standing in the corner without saying a word, wearing the number 1 battle robe, and turned around to leave. Next, we're going to fight him. Fuck. This second round show is so arrogant. I must give him a good lesson when I get to the court later. Arnold said fiercely. Can we really teach a lesson? Watson questioned inwardly. Don't be fooled by mentality. This second round draft is not enough to be afraid of. What we really need to guard against is Kobe. Thibodeau angrily said, as if the Bulls were now 14 points behind, not daring to be careless. Do you really need to be wary of that second round show? Watson once again questioned in his heart. He had a bewildered expression on his face, recalling what had just happened on the field in his mind, but still couldn't figure out why he was blown up. Jiang Feng returned to the Lakers bench. Hey buddy, what are you doing? Are you lost? How could you run to your opponent's bench? German E-Banks said with a hint of mockery. He, like Jiang Feng, was also in the second round of the 2011 draft, only ranked 13th, 15 places higher than Jiang Feng, and in his first game of career, he was favored by the head coach to start. This made him somewhat proud. Young people, giving some sunshine is bound to shine brightly. Before Jiang Feng could speak, Kobe coldly said, "Shut your mouth. Now is the game, not the time for you to question your teammates." Upon hearing these words, E-Banks was immediately dumbfounded. Joking, he dared not shout at Kobe even with 10 courage. "Boss." Jiang Feng looked at Kobe with emotion. "In the future, there will be fewer embarrassing things to do on the field." Kobe said coldly to Jiang Feng. "All right. Everyone's performance was great just now, let me set up the next tactics. Our tactic is to try to pass the ball to Kobe as much as possible." Mike Brown said in a deep voice, his expression very serious. "Players. Is this also considered a tactic?" Jiang Feng raised his eyebrows and could not help but complain in his heart that the coaches who have coached LeBron James may have this habit. Huaxiao Live Room. In less than 2 minutes of playing, he efficiently obtained data of 2 points, 1 block, 1 steal, and 1 assist. Is this really the data produced by Jiang Feng in the second round? I can't believe it a bit. Yu Jia said with a bewildered expression. Jiang Feng's performance gives me a very unreal feeling. But he showed a dominant performance, which is really surprising. Su Kun said, his expression still calm, but his voice was filled with surprise. Oh roar. Amazing, so amazing. The debut of Jiang Feng NBA is really beyond expectations. I believe the audience in front of the TV is also very excited now. Yu Jia reacted and was extremely excited. Although the Lakers are still 14 points behind, the momentum of the game is completely on the Lakers' side now, and it is Jiang Feng who has turned the tide. I'm really looking forward to his next performance now. Su Kun said, staring intently at the broadcast screen. Yu Jia is also like this. Staples Center. Pause and come back. The head coach of the Bulls, Thibodeau, was also ruthless and directly switched to the full starting lineup. Noah, Boozer, Lord Deng, Hamilton, Derrick Ross. Perhaps the audience still doesn't know what this lineup means, but as a traveler, Jiang Feng is very clear. During the offseason, the Bulls, who received Boozer, saw a significant increase in strength. This season, they defeated the Miami Heat and achieved the top luxury record in the Eastern Conference. The reigning star, Derrick Ross, also won the regular season MVP in his third year of career, becoming the youngest player in NBA history to receive this honor. Jiang Feng watched Ross walk onto the court with a calm and confident face, and his heart couldn't help but be stirred by thunder and lightning. If the spring breeze has a pity for flowers, can you allow me to be young again? This year, it's the best Ross. After this year, Ross suffered consecutive injuries, and the Win City Rose gradually withered, becoming a concern in the hearts of many fans. Jiang Feng felt fortunate enough to see this spirited and unparalleled Fengqing rose with his own eyes. However, he can't think of being aggressive in this game. If the team wants to reverse the game, they must limit Ross's performance, and Jiang Feng was very conscious of taking on this important task. Kid, wait for us to switch defense, I'll play against Ross. At this moment, Kobe suddenly walked up to him and said. What? No. I refuse. I have confidence in guarding against Ross. Jiang Feng looked at Kobe's rebellious face and said very seriously. Kobe was momentarily stunned, as if he had seen his youthful self, as rebellious as Jiang Feng, unaware of the vastness of heaven and earth, and determined to single-handedly challenge Jordan. Still confident in winning. Okay. That's up to you. Kobe said calmly, with a hint of appreciation flashing in his eyes. Regardless of whether one's strength is sufficient or not, it takes courage to step forward and take on this important task. The Bulls are attacking. Ross dribbled the ball from the top of the arc, his eyes indifferent as he looked at Jiang Feng in front of him without any expression. It's not that I look down on Jiang Feng. It's ignoring the river breeze directly. He respects every opponent, but just now Jiang Feng doesn't deserve his respect. The audience watched the scene nervously, both puzzled and worried. Why would the head coach let a second-round draft face Rose? Can it be prevented? Their strength is completely out of the same level. Kobe, who came to flank defense, kept his eyes fixed on Jiang Feng, ready to assist at any time. Ross dribbled faster, continuously turning his hips backwards and suddenly turning forward to break through from the right side. Extremely low center of gravity, extremely fast speed. Jiang Feng felt as if there was a gust of wind blowing before his eyes, and a figure was about to disappear from his sight. If he didn't get the system, he estimated that his feet would stand still like stakes, unable to react at all. But now with the fusion of Qin Feng Dahui's full-level physical talent, Jiang Feng's physical fitness is also at the top level, and he focuses on strengthening his speed and agility attributes. The attribute value of speed has reached an exaggerated 95, definitely faster than Ross. So at the moment Ross started, while Jiang Feng was surprised, his steps had already begun to move sideways, completely blocking Ross's breakthrough route. Kobe, who was preparing to defend, was stunned when he caught a glimpse of this scene. Surprisingly prevented it. Chapter 6. Cavalry Company, Attack. Faster than Ross. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Oh. Oh my God. The Lakers' second-round draft on the 28th actually blocked Ross' breakthrough. Ross is the fastest defender in the league. And that number 28 is over 2 meters tall. How could his movement speed keep up with Ross? Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The on.site commentator stared and exclaimed in surprise. The audience also erupted in bursts of alarm. Ross thought he was about to shake off Jiang Feng, but when he broke through the penalty area and saw Jiang Feng still in front of him, he also showed a hint of shock. He quickly made adjustments and did not forcefully attack, scoring the ball into the hands of Hamilton on the outside. Because Kobe was preparing to defend and took 2 steps back, it gave Hamilton a chance to shoot. But Kobe didn't intend to give up and threw himself out desperately, with a fierce and ferocious expression on his face, as imposing as a predatory tiger. Hamilton's heart thumped for a moment, but he still threw a 3-pointer. Banging. Bounce out of the basket. Paul Gasol protected the backcourt rebounds and was about to find Kobe when he saw Jiang Feng asking for the ball. After hesitating, he still passed the basketball over. Even though Jiang Feng is a point guard, Gasol still doesn't trust him very much. Besides, the coach just said to pass the basketball to Kobe as much as possible. Jiang Feng received the basketball and shouted, "Defend and counterattack." Then he dribbled quickly towards the front court, and inexplicably, a blood-boiling scene came to mind. Cavalry Company. Attack. What kind of elite are you? I'm just fighting elite. He was extremely fast, like a shooting star, sweeping past the slow and large figures Noah and Boozer, heading straight towards the penalty area. Ross, Hamilton, and Lord Deng were startled and instinctively surrounded from 3 directions. "Kid, don't mess around and stabilize the rhythm." Kobe shouted loudly, afraid that Jiang Feng would make a mistake and waste this opportunity to attack. Unexpectedly, Jiang Feng didn't listen at all and jumped up high against the defense of the 3. At the moment of takeoff, Jiang Feng pressed the basketball against his abdomen, shook his wrist lightly, and threw the basketball out. At the same time, he also pressed his hands against his abdomen, pretending that the basketball was still in his own hands. The movements are very realistic. Ross and others also jumped up and didn't notice this detail at all. Jumping clown. Facing a 3-man defense attack. Consider yourself Jordan. Noah, who was still standing near the midfield, sneered disdainfully at this scene. But the next second, Noah couldn't laugh anymore because he was shocked to find that Jiang Feng jumped up, but he didn't have a basketball in his hand. Where's the ball? What about his damn basketball? Ross, Luo Deng, and Hamilton also noticed in the air that Jiang Feng had no basketball in his hand, causing his pupils to shrink slightly. Did their three-sandwich defense end up being lonely? Jiang Feng made a very provocative layup in the air. The acting skills without physical performance have reached the Oscar level. Falling to the ground. A few people are all stretching their heads, gazing at where the basketball is. Outside the 45-degree three-point line on the left, Arteist was holding the basketball in his hand, looking bewildered and not even realizing how the basketball came into his own hands. He looked at the empty space 3 meters in front of him without any hesitation, adjusted his posture slightly, and raised his hand to throw a three-pointer. The basketball drew a high arc. Schwa. Stable hollow network access. The difference is back to 11 points. Kobe beside him excitedly waved his arm fiercely, while still roaring and spitting stars flying wildly. But I can't care anymore. The attack just now was really amazing. He saw firsthand how Jiang Feng passed the basketball, so he became even more excited. That's a brilliant pass that's no less impressive than Johnson's level as a magician. This kind of passing is not a skill, but a talent. This Chinese kid has enormous basketball potential hidden in his body. Good ball. Good pass. Dude. I'm already in love with you. As Arteist retreated, he placed his hands on his lips and blew a kiss to Jiang Feng. Just like the three-pointers worth $1,000 that Huang and LV scored in the 7th finals that year. Arteist. Your three-point shooting is also great. The polite commercial exchange between Jiang Feng and each other. How did you pass the ball over? I didn't even understand, and the basketball was in my hands. Arteist asked curiously. Please watch the replay. Jiang Feng said forcefully. Arteist. Audience seats. The fans are completely boiling. Jiang Feng's consecutive stunning performances excited them greatly, especially the 2 wonderful passes that left a deep impression on them. What a beautiful pass. It's like magic. The fake move on number 28 is so realistic that it deceived the entire Bulls team, even his teammates. The commentator exclaimed in amazement, his eyes lit up, and his emotions were completely aroused. The Bulls are attacking. Ross held the ball at the top of the arc and did not forcefully break through, but chose to engage in a high-level pick and roll with Boozer. This tactic has great destructive power and is the safest and most secure offensive tactic for the Bulls. Boozer, who possesses mid-range jump shooting ability, can unleash Ross's basket attacking ability. After dismantling. If not sandwiched, Ross can directly attack the basket. If the package is clamped, Ross can then pass the basketball to Boozer near the free throw line, who will complete the shot. This is the great significance of Boozer's arrival with the Bulls. If Arnold doesn't have the ability to shoot in the middle, there won't be such an attacking threat after picking and removing, so opponents can rest assured to trap Ross. Complete the high-level blocking and dismantling. Ross had just broken through the penalty area when he was heavily defended by Jiang Feng and Arteist. The former's ball handler exerted a slight force and passed the basketball to Boozer. Boozer was already prepared, set up an anti-aircraft gun turret, and raised his hand to shoot. Schwa. Hit. The difference returned to 13 points. The Lakers are attacking. Jiang Feng dribbled the ball just after halftime, and Ross came up fiercely to defend. Pop. A crisp sound. The basketball was broken. Ross grabbed the basketball and quickly launched a fast attack. The entire audience is feeling a bit desperate. The mistake of conceding a goal at a critical moment is really fatal. Mike Brown on the sidelines shook his head helplessly, and the joy brought by Jiang Feng's stunning performance just now dissipated in an instant. He is still just a rookie player, lacking experience and prone to making mistakes. On the field, all the players stood still and watched as Ross ran, without any intention to defend. They know that no one can catch up with Ross's speed. Even Kobe didn't waste his energy chasing and defending, he knows Ross too well. The first fast guard in the league is not just a name for nothing. Only the river breeze, like a yellow cheetah, desperately chasing and defending. No one has expectations for Jiang Feng because they don't believe he can catch up with Ross. In everyone's eyes, Jiang Feng is just a symbolic pursuit and defense. After all, basketball was stolen from his hands. Ross felt footsteps behind him, his lips slightly raised, and his expression was extremely confident. However, between lightning and flint, everyone's eyes were staring like copper bells. They saw Jiang Feng gradually approaching Ross. Chased. Caught up. Chapter 7. Fenggairos. Isn't this considered an excellent point guard? You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Speaking late, then fast. Ross ran to the penalty area, jumped up high, raised the basketball with one hand, and bent his entire body into a reverse arch. He had already accumulated energy and was about to complete a groundbreaking lightning dunk. At this moment, Jiang Feng jumped up high because of his height advantage, which resulted in a much higher visual effect than Ross. Two people glide in the air at the same time. Jiang Feng seized the opportunity and slapped the basketball out. The basketball hit the rebound and bounced back. Ross widened his eyes, showing an incredulous expression. He never expected his fast attack to be intercepted. Or by a tall player over 2 meters tall. How could this be possible? Didn't you run at full speed just now? Ross couldn't help but doubt himself. A player who is 2 meters tall has a faster speed than him, and he would never believe it no matter what. Jiang Feng landed, grabbed the basketball, dribbled and pushed it forward while muttering earnestly, "Take mine and spit it out, take mine and return it to me." OMG. What did I see? Ross' fast break is blocked. This scene is simply too bizarre. The performance on the 28th was amazing. He completely dominated the game. The commentator shouted loudly. The whole audience cheered wildly and once again fell into boiling water. This kind of relentless pursuit and defense can really ignite the atmosphere of the entire stadium. The key is that Jiang Feng is a second-round rookie who blocked superstar Derrick Ross in an unfavorable situation, which is even more inspiring. Good kid. Is it so fierce? Kobe couldn't help but be surprised, as the blood in his body seemed to boil and ignited. He was about to catch the river breeze when he felt something flying towards him at lightning speed. Subconsciously, he reached out his hands and firmly caught the flying pass. How fast this ball passes. Kobe was once again surprised, then adjusted his position and shot a three-pointer with a high hand. Schwa. Hollow network access. The difference is back to 10 points. Jiang Feng sent another brilliant pass and received an assist. The Bulls are attacking. Ross dribbled the ball continuously from the crotch, then changed direction and made a breakthrough, followed by a sudden stop for a mid-range jump shot. Jiang Feng uses the strongest wall skill of Tsugawa Tomoki and tries his best to interfere. Banging. The basketball bounced out of the basket. Arteist fought hard to grab this backcourt rebound. The Bulls players quickly returned to defense, fearing that Jiang Feng would launch another defensive counterattack. After all, the speed of this second-round show is really fast. Even faster than Ross. They have deeply learned that even if it is somewhat outrageous or unbelievable, they must accept reality. There's no chance for a fast break. The river breeze calms down and prepares to engage in positional warfare. Ross pushed forward again, his eyes fierce, like a hunting beast, waiting for an opportunity to take action. Jiang Feng's expression slightly changed. Do you still want to steal? I don't use bean buns as dry food anymore. He had a slight movement in his mind and used the Yi Shan Kotaro thundering dribbling skill. Moment his dribbling speed and rhythm have both improved to a dizzying level. Ross is once again confused. How can I steal with such a fast dribbling speed? I can't determine the position of the basketball at all. I don't know if it's an illusion, but he felt that after Jiang Feng suddenly accelerated his dribbling, there was a faint sound of thunder. At the same time, he rubbed his eyes again and felt like he had hallucinations. Because when he saw Jiang Feng dribbling, he only used 3 fingers to exert force, and his thumb and ring finger did not touch the basketball at all. This is even more outrageous. Ross shook his head, putting these distractions behind him, and focused his attention on defense. He shifted his focus slightly back and gave up the idea of stealing. Paul Gasol ran to the top of the arc and engaged in high-level pick and roll tactics. Jiang Feng rushed to the penalty area under cover, but was not caught. Only Noah came to defend, which prevented him from passing the ball to Gasol. Second round show, you're finally in the penalty area. I'll make you die a miserable death here. Noah charged up excitedly. He had long been displeased with Jiang Feng, and now he finally seized the opportunity to teach him a lesson. Unexpectedly, Jiang Feng did not attack, but dribbled around the baseline before leaving the penalty area. Noah. What? All players. Cowards. Don't you even have the courage to attack in front of me? Noah shouted arrogantly. Jiang Feng disdainfully glanced at him, his hand movements did not stop, his wrist shook, and he threw the basketball into the hands of Arteist, who was lurking in the corner. The latter raised his hand and threw a 3-pointer. The basketball drew a perfect arc. Schwa. Hollow network access. Do you see? I'm asking for 3 points instead of 2 points. Jiang Feng said proudly. When he turned back to defend, he wiped the sweat from his forehead and roasted that if he had not been so sure about the attack, he would have blown Noah up. Is it still his turn to shout here? Noah's face was gloomy and he couldn't let out any fire. The Bulls counterattacked. Ross used cover to reach the penalty area and was sandwiched before scoring the basketball into Noah's hands. Arnold jumped up in anger, wanting to complete a double-handed slam dunk, but due to too much force, he didn't grasp the basketball well, so he just threw it away. The basketball flew out of bounds. The Lakers have offensive possession. Jiang Feng lifted the ball to Gasol in the penalty area, who then turned around with a hook and easily hit. The referee's whistle is ringing. Bulls head coach Thibodeau couldn't bear it anymore and called for a timeout. Even though they are still leading by 5 points, the players look like soldiers who have lost, and their frustration is obvious. Damn it. That second round show on the 28th is even more difficult than imagined. Ross, what's wrong with you? How could you be restricted by a second round show? Thibodeau asked angrily. Sorry, coach, it's my problem. I will adjust as soon as possible. Ross said, but his expression was full of solemnity. Watson, standing beside him, gave Ross a strange look and silently asked, is there a possibility that that second round show was really impressive? Just watched the game on the bench for a few minutes, and Watson was greatly shocked. He knew he was being mistreated because that second round draft was not like a second round draft at all, but more like a seasoned player who had played in the NBA for many years. He is well aware that if the coach doesn't value that second round draft, the Bulls will inevitably face a comeback in this game. Only by truly playing against Jiang Feng can we know his strength. I would like to emphasize once again that the second round draft on the 28th was not enough to be feared. He was just young and moved faster, passed the ball well, defended well, but had no threat on the offensive end. He didn't even attack in the penalty area just now, which is the best proof. Thibodeau once again emphasized. Watson. Dot. The other players looked bewildered. As a point guard, isn't it considered excellent to move quickly, defend well, and pass the ball well? You should know that just a few minutes of Jiang Feng's appearance completely revitalized the Lakers' attack. The Lakers had a blocked offensive in the first 3 quarters, lacking coordination, like constipation. But after Jiang Feng made his debut in the 4th quarter, the Lakers' attack flowed smoothly like a drop of mercury. Coincidentally at this moment, the big screen on site provided Jiang Feng's data, and the most dazzling one was the assist bar. In less than 5 minutes, Jiang Feng delivered 5 assists, making him the Lakers player with the most assists in this game. Chapter 8. Empty basket not up. Show's scalp is tingling. Wrap up the river breeze. You are listening at novel full.audio. The Lakers bench. The emotions of the players have completely changed, and their gaze towards Jiang Feng has also changed. They are all very clear. The Lakers were able to catch up from 18 points behind and are now only 5 points behind, thanks to Jiang Feng. Coach Mike Brown pouted his big mouth with joy, unable to close it. Unexpectedly, my helpless attempt activated a second-round show. Guys. It's time to counterattack. Let's go all out and turn this game around. Mike Brown passionately said, completely forgetting his last timeout tactic. Give Kobe more balls. But obviously, Jiang Feng did not do this, but instead passed it reasonably to the right players every time. This has kept Kobe from holding the ball in singles for a long time. But with such a passing and control master around him, Kobe is also willing to hand over the ball and play more without the ball. Pause and come back. The atmosphere in the stadium remains tense. At this point, with less than 4 minutes left until the end of the entire game, the confrontation between the two sides has entered a heated stage. Is it the Bulls defending their lead and taking away the victory, or the Lakers counterattacking and reversing this game? Countless fans watching this game are looking forward to the future trend of the game. The Bulls lead the first attack. Ross continuously lowered his center of gravity and significantly shifted backwards, breaking through the penalty area with a jump shot and hitting. This is one of his famous skills and also his most difficult offensive tactic. Even though Jiang Feng was not misplaced, he was unable to interfere with the ball. The Lakers counterattacked. Still, Jiang Feng held the ball and launched an attack from the top of the arc. After continuously dribbling and turning backwards, he suddenly passed it to Kobe, who was running to the left with Gasol's cover. Lau Ko raised his hand and made a fake shot, swinging Hamilton who was coming up, and then dribbled 1 step horizontally to make a quick stop for a mid-range jump shot. Schwa. Hollow network access. Hey. What are you doing? Follow Kobe closely and don't give him a chance to shoot easily. As long as Kobe gets the ball, he must wrap it up. Zibidou spoke sternly, sweating profusely on his forehead and feeling increasingly uneasy in his heart. He didn't even realize that, I don't know when, the game situation had completely spiraled out of control. The Bulls are attacking. Ross seems to have been getting stronger with Jiang Feng, still pulling himself apart in singles, continuously changing direction and shaking Jiang Feng's center of gravity, and then making a quick stop jump shot at mid-range. Banging. Forging iron. Gasol grabbed the rebound and passed it to Jiang Feng, who quickly launched a defensive counterattack. Arteist and Kobe followed closely from left to right. Ross, Luo Erdang and others were frantically chasing and defending, but couldn't keep up with Jiang Feng's speed and could only watch the distance get bigger and bigger. At this moment, they finally felt Watson's sense of powerlessness. This guard over 2 meters tall is really so fast. There is no scientific basis at all. Why is he so tall and still so fast? It's really difficult to understand. The entire audience became excited and began to look forward to Jiang Feng ending this fast break with a perfect dunk. However, surprisingly, no one in front of Jiang Feng had an empty basket, but instead turned around and looked at the moon, passing the basketball from behind his head. But Kobe, who followed up, only ran outside the three-point line at this moment. After receiving the basketball, he was also somewhat surprised and decided to quickly stop outside the three-point line. After a pause, he raised his hand and threw a three-point shot. The basketball drew a perfect arc. Schwa. Hollow network access. The Bulls players were stunned and couldn't help but think of Jiang Feng's theory of not having 2 points but having 3 points just now. But it's too outrageous to have an empty basket under the basket and shoot a three-pointer from the outside with a hard pass. And the logic of this competition is also incorrect. Isn't it a priority of 2 points? If you can't get 2 points, try to find a way to shoot 3 points. After all, the 2-point shooting rate is always higher than the 3-point shooting rate. This second-round rookie has no logic in playing, making it unpredictable. It is truly unpredictable, not only in terms of passing techniques, but also in terms of ideas. Really, it's a bit tricky. Good pass. To be honest, I didn't expect you to miss the basket. If you make a pass mistake, I will definitely kick your butt out. Kobe said expressionlessly, not getting excited because he just pitched a three-pointer. In his opinion, Jiang Feng's passing was not reasonable. You always mention my butt, do you have any thoughts about it? Jiang Feng asked very seriously. Get lost. Don't think I'm joking. Kobe said coldly. The stall keeper of Jiang Feng's stall turned back to defend. He was also on his knees roast. It's not that I don't want to lay up. It's really a heavy system task. 10 assists. For the sake of KPI, points can be omitted, but the ball must be passed, regardless of whether it is scored or not. Fuck. This second-round show is challenging the team's defensive bottom line, it's really arrogant. Wrap it up. Give me this second-round show. Sibadu on the sidelines was furious and shouted loudly. In his view, Jiang Feng's failure to reach the empty basket just now was completely a provocative behavior, and he even felt insulted. You should know that he is a famous defensive head coach in the entire league. Upon hearing these words, all the Bulls players were stunned. Pack a rookie in the second round. Has the coach's anxious mind been infuriated? Although thinking this way, the players still nodded because Sibadu has a high authority in the team, and if it goes against the coach's will, it will be criticized very harshly. The Bulls are attacking. After consecutive attempts to break through, Ross went into the penalty area again and was sandwiched for defense. He then dribbled the ball to the outside line by LOL Deng, who first shook off the attacking Arteist and then made a steady mid-range shot. Schwa. Hollow network access. As he ages, Arteist's defensive ability further declines. The best defensive player who used to be incredibly tough in the league will never come back. Now all that's left is hard. Still just having a tough mouth and temper. The Lakers are attacking. Jiang Feng dribbled just after half-court and Ross and Lord Deng quickly defended, forming a pincer attack on him. Seeing this scene, the whole audience erupted in exclamation of surprise. Oh my God! This is so crazy. What are the Bulls doing? They're actually sandwiched between a second-round rookie who's playing NBA for the first time in their career. It seems that Sibadu is really scared by this number 28. Because this second-round draft changed the game situation, leading the team to chase the difference from being 18 points behind to 2 points. Magical from the East. The live commentary excitedly expressed the voices of all the audience. The Lakers players also showed a strange expression. Not to pick up Kobe, to pick up the team's second-round draft. Are you sure you're not mistaken? However, what's even crazier is still ahead. Faced with the two of them sandwiched, Jiang Feng did not show any timidity, but instead raised the corners of his mouth and showed a faint smile. Everyone. Chapter 9. Double ghosts beat the door. He really doesn't attack. You are listening at novel full.audio. Laugh, laugh. What is this second round show laughing about? Is it because I'm very proud after being caught in a bag? Oh my god. This is unbelievable. Isn't he nervous at all? Socrates. The on.site commentator exclaimed in surprise, looking incredulous. The audience also began to discuss and became curious and puzzled about Jiang Feng's smile. On the field, the Bulls players were furious. Not only Sibadu, but also they all felt insulted by Jiang Feng. Hey, what are you laughing at? Are you happy being trapped in a bag? Luo Deng angrily said. Of course I'm happy. Jiang Feng subconsciously replied. He is really happy. If he gets caught in the bag, then his teammates will have empty seats. This way, the ball passed out is easier to score, and the task can be completed more easily. Is this logic incorrect? Arrogant. You're too arrogant. You can't play any more next. We're starting to focus on defending you. Your performance time is over. Luo Deng said with a gloomy expression that his anger level had exploded. Even Ross, who has always been young and calm, couldn't help but feel a bit angry. This second round of shows is even more arrogant than my top pick in the rookie season. What courage! Those who know this is a second round show, while those who don't think it's the top pick of this year. It's outrageous. No. 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 I don't have any performance time, I can't say it's over. Jiang Feng said very seriously. Upon hearing these words, both Lord Deng and Ross calmed down a bit. It's okay. This second round show is a bit self-aware. My performance moment has just begun. Jiang Feng said another sentence. Ross and Luo Deng. The two of them didn't speak anymore, but turned their anger into strength and frantically rushed towards the river wind. Arrogant. After a while, I'll make you cry without tears. Jiang Feng felt the surging and fierce defense, and his mind moved. He used the Yishan Kotaro thundering dribbling skill to stabilize the rhythm and ensure that the basketball was not easily stolen. Basketball was jumping happily under his hands, bouncing and bouncing like a natural part of his body. Then, he scanned the half-court with his eyes, searching for the position of his teammates. With the blessing of the skill, Haizija also disappears passing, his vision covers the entire half, and the position of each teammate is very clear in his mind. Suddenly, he changed his color and his eyes became sharp, exuding a powerful aura throughout his body. The basketball in his hand was suddenly thrown out by him with all his might. The basketball seemed to have come to life, flying out of the gap between Ross and Lo Deng, then hitting the ground hard and bouncing back up. It flew straight towards the basket. Is this shooting? But is this him? What strange shooting action. Not right. This is passing the ball. Everyone suddenly woke up in shock. Because they saw Kobe rushing towards the penalty area, then jumped up high, caught the basketball in the air, and gently flicked it out as it fell. Schwa. The basketball landed steadily into the basket. The difference is back to 2 points. And Jiang Feng has already sent out 8 assists. He looked up at the game time, there was still over a minute left, it was still very urgent. Beautiful pass. The pass on number 28 is so beautiful. Even the Bulls' bag clip cannot stop him from passing the basketball to his teammates' hands. Due to the pass on the 28th, Kobe's offensive efficiency in the fourth quarter was also very terrifying. The commentator said excitedly again. The entire audience was once again boiling and cheering wildly. This second round show has brought them too many surprises. On the other hand, the Bulls players looked even more gloomy, and their body language was already somewhat disheartened. Why can't we defend ourselves even though it's just a second round show? Jiang Feng is slowly breaking through their psychological defense with a pass. Derrick Ross remained silent, dribbling rapidly towards the front court. As the team's ace, he doesn't like to use words to motivate his teammates. He is better at getting used to using practical actions to boost morale. After half-time, he faced Jiang Feng's defense and directly used his unique skill of not slowing down and changing direction, as if it were the wind, trying to blow away from Jiang Feng's face. But Jiang Feng's agility and speed were too fast, unable to stand in front of Ross, but also closely following behind, not giving up at all. Ross is a bit anxious. How come this damn big guy can't be thrown away? He didn't pass the ball, but forcefully jumped up, hoping to use his super physical talent to complete this attack and hit a superstar ball. But the Lakers won't give him this opportunity. In addition to Jiang Feng, Gasol and Kobe have also shrunk to the penalty area and surrounded Ross. The entire restricted area is overcrowded and chaotic. Ross wanted to throw the basketball, but was blocked by a combination of Gasol and Kobe. Double ghosts slamming the door. Basketball flies out. In the chaos, Jiang Feng was quick and agile, showcasing his high agility. He quickly grabbed the basketball with one hand and then launched a defensive counterattack. Amazing speed. However, the Bulls had already reacted, with two players, Raul and Hamilton, already running towards the half early and forming a pincer defense against Jiang Feng. Kobe and Ebanks followed behind and fell outside the 3-point line. Ross has already run towards Kobe. Ebanks is a large vacancy. But Jiang Feng stubbornly passed to Kobe again, because he didn't think a player with the strength of Ebanks could catch his pass. Kobe was a bit surprised to receive the basketball again, and then reacted quickly without any hesitation, taking a 3-point jump shot against Ross's defense. This is the confidence of a superstar. The basketball drew a high arc. Schwa. Hollow network access. 3 points again. The Lakers overtook by 1 point. The whole scene is boiling. The referee's whistle is ringing. Zibadou used the last pause. There is only 38 seconds left until the end of the game, and the success or failure will depend on the next offensive round. An offensive tactic was deployed. Pause and come back. The Bulls serve from the midline boundary. Ross received the basketball, dribbled the ball at the top of the arc to control the rhythm, and Boozer ran to the high position to pick and roll. Use cover to break through from the right to the right. Kobe and Jiang Feng stubbornly followed Ross without giving him a chance to take action. Especially Kobe's defensive pressure is directly overwhelming. As a frequent guest of the best defensive lineup for many consecutive years, his single defense ability is definitely at the top of the league, and his understanding of the game has entered a turning point. Ross had no choice but to pass the basketball to the outside. Zibadou's tactics failed. Luol Deng hastily received the basketball and shot a three-pointer. Banging. The basketball bounced out. Gasol grabbed the rebound and quickly passed it to Jiang Feng. Ross immediately rushed forward and wanted to use foul tactics. Jiang Feng is anxious. I still need an assist. And the free throw is also not allowed. If this is reversed due to not scoring a free throw, wouldn't it be a failure? He exerted all his strength and dribbled towards the front court, avoiding the pursuit of 3 Bulls players along the way, and passionately rushed to the basket. Just as everyone thought he was about to complete a final layup, he unexpectedly and logically passed the basketball again. Audience. Kobe seemed to have been prepared. Even if Jiang Feng ran to the basket and was already empty, he was still sprinting hard from behind. After receiving a pass from Jiang Feng, he happened to be in the penalty area and took the opportunity to lay up. Hit. Kill the game. But this time, the audience did not erupt in cheers, but instead expressed their emotions. This second-round rookie is really not attacking. Chapter 10. Showcased by Kobe. Looking forward to the next encounter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I knew you could pass the ball. Kobe did not criticize Jiang Feng this time, but rushed over excitedly, jumping up and colliding with Jiang Feng to celebrate. Lau Coat is so excited, naturally because the team is about to reverse this game, and he has shown his killer nature and completed a near final. Save the team as always. Because I want you to kick my butt. Jiang Feng smiled and joked, finally feeling relieved in his heart. 10 assists. Task, complete. I'm not interested in your butt. Kobe waved his hand, his expression suddenly changed, and he shouted seriously, defend hard, the game is not over yet. Roar. The whole team roared, their emotions were high, and their defense was very active. The Bulls have not paused and can only serve from outside the baseline. After receiving the ball, Ross quickly dribbled through half the court and wanted to make a strong three-point shot, but Jiang Feng was like a catfish, sticking to him tightly, making him feel uncomfortable all over. There is very little time left. Ross was forced to jump up against Jiang Feng's close defense and forcefully threw the basketball out in a situation with poor visibility. The basketball drew a high arc. Under the gaze of 20,000 pairs of tense eyes, he bounced back from the rebound. Kobe rushed into the crowd, with a resolute and fierce momentum, and forcefully grabbed this backcourt rebound. Do. The whistle for the end of the game sounded. 98.101, the Lakers reversed the game by a margin of 3 points and won a good start to the season. The entire stadium erupted with cheers like mountains and seas roaring. The fans are completely crazy. This competition is also too exciting. At the beginning of the season, the Lakers delivered a spectacular comeback, which was truly exhilarating. And the second-round rookie who led the Lakers to complete the comeback is undoubtedly the one who can't even name himself. The eyes of the entire audience were focused on Jiang Feng, and then a look of surprise appeared. Jiang Feng did not celebrate with excitement like other players, but instead stood calmly on the field, looking up at the distant ceiling at a 45-degree angle, deep and silent. Seems out of place with this world. Kid, what's wrong with you? Kobe approached curiously and asked. Remembering this game, it was the worst game I've ever played in my career. I made 1 out of 1 shot, got 2 points, 1 rebounded, 10 assists, 1 stealer, and 1 block. Except for the barely decent assists, the other statistics were really poor. Jiang Feng said with emotion. In today's era, it is difficult for defenders without offense to get along, especially in critical games. Top point guards like Rubio and Simmons, due to their poor offensive abilities, eventually became blue-collar players in the league and were traded back and forth. The Lakers currently have no shortage of offensive players, but they also need to grow quickly and become a hexagonal warrior. Kobe. Data difference. Do you think this data is bad? This Nima just typed the data in 10 minutes. How terrifying would it be if the playing time were extended to around 30 minutes? And, this is just your first game of your career, making it the worst game of your career. Can all future matches perform better than this? So confident. It's somewhat outrageous. Confidence is a good thing, but if you overconfident, you are becoming arrogant. Kobe said in a low voice, somewhat dissatisfied. Boss, weren't you so arrogant when you were young? Jiang Feng asked curiously, with a hint of cunning flashing in his eyes. No. We have a fundamental difference. Kobe said seriously. My strength is stronger than yours. Kobe said calmly, then turned around and left. Jiang Feng. This wave, you really caught it. Subsequently, the players from the two teams began to greet each other. Ross and Kobe had a brief conversation before walking towards Jiang Feng. This surprised everyone. What is Ross's status? Top scorer in 2008, top point guard in the league, and Bulls star. What is the status of Jiang Feng? This year's second-round rookies are still ranked 28th in the second round, and if they are too lower in the second round, they will be eliminated from the draft. Even though Jiang Feng performed well in this game and limited Ross in the fourth quarter, their identities and status are still vastly different. Ross is still a superstar, while Jiang Feng has shown potential, but whether he can survive in the NBA in the future is still unknown. But now that Ross actively approached Jiang Feng, it is enough to prove that Jiang Feng's performance in this game has been recognized by Ross and has earned his respect. All the fans stood up, applauded and cheered. This scene is so exciting. What else is more motivating than a small character working hard to gain recognition and encouragement from a superstar? Just like how big shots like Jack Ma and Chang Dong encourage a hardworking young entrepreneur, others may feel excited, let alone the protagonist himself. Fans immersed themselves in Jiang Feng's emotions, feeling that he must have been pleasantly surprised and moved. Jiang Feng was indeed surprised, but did not find it very surprising. After all, if Ross ignores his words today, he won't be able to climb high tomorrow. Hey buddy, you're doing great. I'm looking forward to playing against you next time. I won't give you another chance to perform like this. Ross said in a gentle voice, giving people a feeling of being approachable as a big brother next door, completely different from the cold and domineering atmosphere on the field. No. You won't expect it. Because in the next match, your performance will be even worse than today. Jiang Feng grinned and spoke with strong confidence in his tone. Really? Then I'm even more looking forward to it. Ross couldn't help but smile and didn't take this sentence to heart. He just felt that Jiang Feng was bragging. A few months later, at the Bulls' home United Center Arena, he would deeply appreciate the meaning of this sentence. At that time, everything that happened today will truly complete the closed loop. Give the two of them a hug. Ross turned around and walked into the player tunnel. The red number 1 was bright and bright, just like Ross's rising career. Both players withdrew, and the biggest surprise of this game for me was the Lakers' second-round 28th draft. When he appeared, I couldn't even name him, but I believe his name will ring throughout Los Angeles after this game. Jiang Feng. In less than 10 minutes of playing, he sent out 10 assists and made no mistakes. This assist-error ratio and assist efficiency are very frightening. It is precisely because of his presence that the Lakers' fourth-quarter offense became smooth and smooth. And he also limited Ross' performance, allowing him to only score 2 points out of 5 out of 1 shots in the fourth quarter. He completely dominated the game. And this is just his first game of his career. Can he still bring us such surprises in future games? Let's wait and see. The on.site commentary summarized that the emotions were still excited and surging. Jiang Feng, who has never received much attention in the United States, became known to many Los Angeles fans in just one game. In World War I am a deity.